It's great that we're partnering with KidSport. All the great fundraising work that we're doing, it's going to get into the families that need it, so we really appreciate it. So, real easy, Kurt. I mean, you're known as a figure skating guy, but deep down inside, there's a hockey guy in there, right?
Yeah. Okay, yeah, so the story goes, my mom was watching me play hockey in Caroline, Alberta, where the population of the town doubles at 9 o'clock in the morning when school starts. And we had a practice on Tuesday and a game on Saturday, and I was on my butt most of the time on the practice and on the bench most of the time during the game. So my mom, the town put an arena, a roof on the top of the ice, and all of a sudden we had an arena and we had scheduled things, and all of a sudden we had figure skating as well. So she put me in that sport to help my hockey. I played till I was, can't say it anymore, about 16, U16, I guess I'm learning the terminology. And then my parents, I was moving to Edmonton, and I tried to put my hockey bag in the back of the car, and my dad said, we're not paying for both, so choose. So the hockey bag stayed at home, and I became this for the rest of my life. But yeah, I started as a hockey player, and I've done 3 or 4 performances as a professional figure skater in my hockey skates, performing with my hockey skates on. And so yeah, there's a lot of hockey in me. Love the sport. Play no hit until I got hit, and then I quit. So maybe someday I'll play again.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, so I love this opportunity because I love asking questions of athletes, different experiences. So figure skaters, you have these routines.
No math.
You have these routines. They're so precise. You practice them for so long, step by step, stride by stride.
Yeah.
But you were asked to do something, and I'm kind of going into the Olympics, you were asked to do something that is probably like the biggest honor an athlete can get, and that is carrying the flag in 1994 in Norway for the Olympics. And I'm thinking there, I know that you'll probably tell me you're nervous, because you're carrying this, there's only like 12 stations in Canada there, everyone's watching on it. But did you get to practice it?
No. Actually, the backstory of that is that they actually asked me in '92 to carry the flag. So that would have been the year that my back was bad, and my discs were blown out, and nobody really knew about that. And we had no idea how heavy the flag was or how long I was going to have to be standing. So we actually had a team meeting. We decided to be the first person to ever turn down the opportunity to carry the flag. We just didn't know what was going to do to my back. So we were really sad about that, but it just put into jeopardy any chance I had of skating well. And then in '94, I'll be darned if they didn't ask again. So it was a double honor in the fact that they did ask me twice, and I could literally just focus for a bit and start crying how big that moment was to be outdoors and wear that thing, and thought about Brian Orsi carrying it in '88 and just everything that it means to be a Canadian and to be as proud as you could be in that moment.
Right. And I know now you didn't have social media there. A lot of people didn't know that you were injured. I guess you were keeping a secret. You made it onto the team in '92.
Well, yeah, we had to keep it a secret in case any Victor Petrenko went into the corner. He would know where to hit me. So we had to keep it quiet,
Okay.
That was a hockey joke. My best attempt.
Did you just pull that name out?
No, that was my big guy. I had to beat him.
So a lot of hockey people here, they talk about teamwork. There's 5 coaches. You got 18 people in the dressing room. You can always find someone in the dressing room and tell you it wasn't your fault, but you did, you did an individual sport. I've got 2 kids that are in team sports. I mean, it's a little different being in an individual sport. Like, what would you tell a parent if saying, you know what, I'm thinking of this hockey thing, but they also want to do figure skating or tennis? How's it a little bit different doing an individual sport?
Well, I think that there's a lot of big personalities in hockey, and a lot of those would make great figure skaters. You need to go out there and entertain, and a little arrogance and selfishness goes a long way when you're in an individual sport. I think tennis players, when they're on the hitting the ball, but certainly it takes a team to get you out there to do your stuff. But they're really hidden; they're not on the bench with you. But I played hockey, and I have to admit that there's something even better about winning as a team than there is as winning as an individual. There's just so much camaraderie, and it's one of the things that my sport obviously doesn't offer me. But I did have it in baseball, and I had it in badminton a little bit, and hockey. And so I think that both have certain things to generate. During Battle of the Blades, you guys remember that show where the hockey players were given a figure skater to throw around, and getting to meet all sorts of hockey players. And I told them that our sports are very different in all sorts of obvious ways, but one of them being that if you're a figure skater, it could be a full year, 365 days ahead of time that you know exactly what you're supposed to do at every second. And it can really screw with your head because you go to sleep every night thinking of the moves, the choreography, the jumps, and the spins. Whereas a hockey player, you work on your skills, you have a plan, but it's more reactionary to the moment. And I said, can you guys imagine ending the third period, game 7, if you knew I have to feather the pass 4 inches, exactly 4 inches, over the stick? If you knew it, would you sleep the night before? And all the hockey players just went, oh, we never thought of it that way. So our sports are very, very different, for sure. But I think hockey, just let's get straight, I think hockey's really cool.
Oh, we got you covered there. So now, you're competing against other Canadians for spots, right? I mean, you're
On the national team?
Yeah, on the national team. Are you in the dressing room together? Are you interacting? I mean, we're in the home of Richmond Hill. There's a guy who used to skate. Did some ice shows. I forget his name. Might have an arena named after him. I mean, Elvis Stoico. I mean, you're rivals. You're psyching each other out here. I mean, you're fighting for the same spots, but then obviously you want to have Canada do well as well. So how does that work when you're in this individual sport, working with possible teammates, but you're also competing against them when you want to be the Canadian champion?
Well, I mean, it's I sometimes look at hockey and go, you know, you can be roommates in junior and best friends. Your families know each other, but your coach six you on your friend and you got to fight. You know, but then afterward you golf together. So I think that it's about, you know, it's about respect. And I'll be very honest, if there was someone I was competing against and I didn't really respect them and I didn't think they respected me, there were certain games you could make, you know, there's certain games you could play to try and get, you know, under their skin a little bit. You know, one of the meanest was making fun of his costume. You know, he's putting on his costume and just as he leaves the dressing room, you look at me and go, are you gonna wear that? And you know you got him, he's done. The other thing would be to wait until they're done their program and competition, and as soon as they finish and they hit their finishing pose, you blow by and do a quad or a triple axel right beside them. And that was seriously something that I would do. So I would time it right when they finished their program and then yeah, there was some stuff.
And let's just edit out the whole you go fight someone on the ice.
Yeah.
You're dating yourself.
I always thought the 5-minute warm-up would be more interesting if contact was allowed. It would be a different sport. Sequence everywhere would be crazy.
Okay, so you get to these Olympics, and I laugh because I'm watching the NBA basketball players. They go to the Olympics, but they like rent these yachts that sit out in the ocean, right? They say the beds aren't big enough for them. Did you actually live in the village on these little cardboard boxes, and then they expect you in 8 days to go out and skate the best routine of your life?
Well, I mean, it's not like you had cold water dripping on your head when you slept. It was fine. But yeah, you have a roommate that you don't really know that well, but it's the same as everyone else. Like you eat in the cafeteria with everybody, and it was a great experience to be able to. You didn't feel alone in sport. You didn't feel alone. Like when you're at an Olympics, you meet so many players from different sports, and we all come together to put on the biggest show on earth. And there's a camaraderie there between everybody, and it was a great feeling. Would have been more fun to win it, but oh well.
Well, you've got enough golds there.
Do I? Okay.
Do you know where the silver medal is?
Okay. So I have 4 world championships, but I have 1 silver at the world championships. And also have 1 silver at the Canadian Championships, where in Edmonton, my hometown, Elvis kicked my ass, and badly. So in my will, and Elvis knows this, that exact silver medal, if I die in the car on the way home, it goes to Elvis Stoico. So it's in the will. It's good.
So you've probably got a lot of opportunities to work with different groups. I mean, you grew up in a small town, Rocky Mountain House. Is that hometown where you're born?
Sure. Yeah, I was born there.
Born there. Population.
I don't know now. I don't know. 7.
Are you the biggest celebrity to come out of Rocky Mountain?
There's a few rodeo stars. I think that Rocky might think a bigger celebrity. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, and we see like in the city, small communities, there is a challenge with families getting into sport. It's a yes or no sometimes for families. So how did you get
rent or sport?
Yeah, how did you get involved here with KidSport? And I know you get lots of opportunities, and this is something that you're passionate about. It's not just, hey, I'll say yes and look good here. This is something you're really committed to.
Yeah, well, the looking good days are gone. A long time ago, when there was hair to comb, I was offered a chance to represent as an ambassador in KidSport, which was a brand new company, not a company, but a charity. And I had just won the World Championship, so I was a very busy person. We did the interview, we did the photo shoot, and it went on. They didn't stay in touch with me, I didn't stay in touch with them, and just in the last few years, KidSport has come back into my life, and I literally looked at Greg Engels and was like, you guys still exist? I didn't even know. And so I just love the idea of getting back together with a company that I was too young to appreciate what I was doing at the time, what the sport was doing, or what the charity was doing at the time, and I was too busy. So I'm loving the opportunity to get back with KidSport, something that I started 30 years ago or 25 years ago, and it's an honor. I love what the sporting world has done for me, but also what I think it can do for kids who, we were just talking at the table, and Sarah was mentioning that one of the big things that the children say when they're interviewed is not, I want to win the Stanley Cup, or I want to make it to the Olympics, is that I want to have fun, and I want to have fun with friends. And so, and I think that that's where it starts. There's so many great dividends of being a child and being in sport. Learning how to win, learning how to lose, learning how to fall, learning how to be fair. And it's just awesome that I get to participate and get as many people, families, a chance to have their kids get out there and do something. You know? So that was when you clapped. You got to clap because that was very much.
We appreciate it. We're excited about that. So, want to throw a few quick hits at you.
Okay, yeah, I'm ready.
Blades of Glory, accurate representation of figure skating or not?
yeah, damn it.
Will Ferrell movie, folks, the two guys.
I've actually got a friend of mine who has basically thrown up in his helmet. Like, so when you go to like certain shows, some of the skaters are in a big head. You know, they're like like some character. And he was so hungover that basically in the movie, Will throws up in the helmet, and it's happened, folks. So yeah, I think there's a lot of things. I watched that show on an airplane. And I had my earphones on, so I didn't know how loud I was laughing. I was laughing, I guess, like embarrassingly loud. But everyone around me was like, "What's that guy watching?" So they all took a look. And then when my movie finished, every 5 minutes, someone else would come over to me and talk to me about the movie, and we ended up all sitting around talking about it. It's one of my favorite movies. I think it's very funny. Yeah, go ahead.
You've got some acting experience, so if we do a sequel, I could reach out and see
sure.
if you could take that.
If you arrange that, yeah.
Okay, so now we're going to controversy here. Get you in trouble. There's a few people in this room that might not appreciate every hockey referee call. We get a few emails, videos. This is a sport, figure skating, where there's been some controversy, right?
Sure.
There's been a lot of challenges. I mean, you're a few years past it now. You could probably say what's on your mind and not get in trouble. Are you kind of happy where the judging is? Do you watch these events and say, okay, wait a sec, where's that judge from? Or does Canada have to get more boisterous and say, let's kick some butt here for our skaters? You still have a little concern every now and then when you watch an event?
I think that you get used to how things happen, even if they're not the right thing. And it's wild that all of us in your own home, your own life, or your own set of morals do get used to how things run. Yeah, I think that any judged sport, anything, rodeo, figure skating, whatever it might be, refereeing, it's not always going to be perfect. I think that my sport is trying really hard to get better all the time. They changed the sporting system, the judging system, and certainly now, it doesn't necessarily matter as much what your name is as what you did. So I'm proud of my sport. It's growing. It's learning from its mistakes and getting better. And I'm here to help it as much as I can.
Awesome. And I'll leave you with this one. So every day in the city of Toronto, maybe it's a little bit quieter now, pandemic. There's a lot of people that walk past your star.
Oh yeah.
On the Canadian Walk of Fame.
Sure.
And there's a lot of people on that Canadian Walk of Fame. I mean, you got it at a very young age, by the way. Sometimes they wait for you to be really, really old and say, hey, who haven't we gotten yet? I mean, that honor and the fact that it's there with all those great names. I mean, I know you might be hard to pick an accomplishment, but how does it feel to have that star there? It's going to be there forever, we hope. Right there with all those
longer than I will
amazing Canadians that weren't just athletes, Canadians that some very big names in Canada. How did that feel that day many, many years ago?
It's a little tiny bit like the moment that I had with KidSport when I was too young to appreciate it. And a lot of things were happening to me when I was winning world titles and stuff, like so many moments. But the other day, the best moment of one of my best moments of my life is when my two sons were old enough now to kind of understand what the Walk of Fame is about. And one's 16, one's 20, and to have them see all the names and then to see mine and actually think Dad was cool for a second was pretty cool. And so my sport has taken me so many more places than I ever dreamed. Into television and charity work, hosting Canada Day, meeting the Queen twice, driving Wayne Gretzky's car. I had so many cool things happen to me. But I'm just a kid who, if I could tie it into a bow here right now, I'm a kid that went to the rink, because it was cool and it was fun. And somehow my parents and the community around me created an environment where I started playing hockey, and it became figure skating, whatever. It became my life. And so I'm really thankful to all of you to come out today, and that hockey is participating with KidSport, and that and I get to be a part of all that. So to bring it all around, the sport has been so good to me. I just want to give every kid the chance to whether it's just have fun with their friends, or maybe it's the next Sidney Crosby. So thanks from KidSport to all of you for creating the day, opening up your wallets and your minds, and helping us help kids.
That's really tough. I appreciate your time, Kurt. We're going to be doing a lot of fundraising and finding ways with KidSport to get that to the proper families in need. And it was funny how many people came by the 18th hole and said, "That Kurt Browning's a really nice guy." I'm like, "Did you have a bad reputation among hockey people?" I was like, "I don't think I've ever seen you in a negative light. You're acting it, you're coaching it. Is there someone that doesn't like you?
There's a few fun things out there to talk about, but hey, let's move on. It's been fun. Okay.
Well, thank you to Kurt Browning. Thank you to KidSport.